All right, guys, happy January 7th, Thursday. The past couple of days, we have been talking about volume measurements for solid objects, particularly rectangular and square objects or prisms. And when we were talking about those, we found the volume measurements equals length times width times height. And we said that volume is represented by cubic units. Well, we're going to learn about volume for liquids, and using liquids, we have different volume measurements. Gases use these same kind of measurements. So let's look in the metric system. Remember, we have the prefixes kilo, hecto, deca, our base unit, deci, centi, milli, and we know these using the phrase King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Again, if you haven't memorized kilo, hecto, deca, base, deci, centi, milli, please make yourself some flashcards so that way you have it memorized. So we are going to use these again, but now for liquids, we are changing the base. We have been using the meter for length. Now we're going to talk about liters. So you see, it just gets added on to the end. Kiloliter, hectoliter, decaliter, deciliter, centiliter, milliliter. With volume measurements, the most common volume measurements in the metric system are going to be the liter and then the milliliter. Occasionally we'll use centiliter and kiloliter, but most often with metric measurements, we see the liter and milliliter. So just like with the meters, this works the same way. The base is equal to 1. We move down, and this is worth 1/10 of a liter. This is worth 100th of a liter. This is worth 1,000th of a liter. And this is 10 liters, 100 liters, 1,000 liters. It's all based around this liter system here, this 1 in the middle. So we know 1 centiliter equals 10 milliliters because we move from centiliter to milliliter. That's 1 space to the right. So I take my decimal, move it over 1, and I'm going to end up with 10. We abbreviate this CL, ML, just like we did with meter, liter. So we use the same beginning letter and then the letter of our base unit. So the first letter of our prefix and then our base unit here. And then 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters because milli is 1,000th of a liter. So 1,000 of these make up one of those. Okay, but the standard system, as with almost everything, is more complicated. It's not as easy to work back and forth. So in the US standard system, we have tablespoons, teaspoons, ounces, cups, pints, quarts, gallons, a bunch of different measurements, and of course they don't all have nice 10 numbers to convert back and forth. So 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons equals 1 ounce. And they write fluid ounces here. We can use ounces to do some other weights. When we write these, we just generate FL or just OZ. So then 8 cups equal 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. 2 cups equals 1 pint. 2 pints equals 1 quart. 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. Yes, I know. Welcome to America, folks. So down here is a conversion. So 1 gallon equals 8 pints. 1 gallon equals 16 cups. 1 gallon equals 128 fluid ounces. So these are all the same equal measurements down here. And then here are your abbreviations. Tablespoon is put TBSP, teaspoon is TSP. And you notice this is a capital T and that's a lowercase t. Yes, it's written like that purposefully. And then in the metric system, here are the conversions. We're not going to do very many conversions this way between these ounces and milliliters, but here is the conversion in case you need it. You would convert the same way that we did when we did the conversion between inches and centimeters. You create yourself two fractions that help you find the unit rate, and then you would do the multiplication of those two fractions. But we're not going to do that work this time. We did that practice work already. So this is the table that you're going to use as we are reviewing liquid measurements and learning to read liquid volume on the next couple of worksheets.